Good Saturday morning, everyone. Today on Perspectives, we talk with Mobile County District Attorney Keith Blackwood. Roughly 200 days in office now, the DA is ready to launch a new youth crime prevention program. Mobile County Public School students are back in class now for the new school year, and one major change that school officials and the district attorney want to see is better attendance. Last month in early July, 15,000 letters were sent out to MCPSS parents requiring them to attend truancy sessions. Now, the sessions were an opportunity for the DA's office and school officials to stress the importance of attending class. The letters were sent to parents whose child had accumulated excessive, unexcused absences and/or tardies during the last school year. Now, some parents said that they were caught off guard, unaware that had not received any previous notice from the school system of there being an attendance problem. DA Blackwood says that the truancy rates have been exploding over the last few years, and this is one effort to get the high numbers under control. The DA says that it's also important for crime prevention. He strongly believes that addressing chronic absenteeism will have a major impact on reducing crime. His new Healthy Families Initiative is designed to improve family functioning, child well-being, and educational outcomes. Our guest this morning on Perspectives, Mobile County District Attorney Keith Blackwood. After a quick break this morning, we'll talk with the DA about his office's new Helping Families Initiative, why it's important, and how it will help reduce crime. Perspectives continues in just a moment. And as mentioned this morning, our very special guest, District Attorney Keith Blackwood, he's here this morning to talk about a brand new program that seems to be one of the things that is necessary today when you look at making a difference in the community, talking about the youth and the school systems. There are a lot of ingredients there together that it's exciting to me to hear what the concept is. So this morning we're going to talk about your Helping Families Initiative. Let's start with the point of how did you make this decision to bring this program in during your administration? Of course, it's something that, as you were telling me earlier, it's been around for a little while, and other DAs around the state are also using the program.
That's right, Eric, and thank you for having me again on Perspectives. I really appreciate that. We are bringing Helping Families Initiative back to the Mobile County District Attorney's Office. This program was started here in Mobile back in the early 2000s. And then John Tyson Jr., who was the district attorney then, partnered with Volunteers of America once he retired, and he took this program across the state, where in many places it has seen a lot of success in dealing with truancy and then, seeing crime rates correspondingly go down. Our program that we ran for the last 10 or 12 years, it was done very successfully. It was a mentor-based program. And we saw a lot of benefit out of that. However, when I took office, I wanted to make the biggest impact possible because I really believe that truancy is a real indicator of future crime rates and things like that. And not that every child that misses school is going to turn into a criminal. I mean, we're talking about a small number of people. But this program will allow us to have the largest impact to address the issue that will make our community better over the long term.
Is that one of the things that you saw when you looked at, I guess, the results of the program, making a difference to make this decision about implementing it again?
That's right, and there's a tremendous amount of data. This program has been studied, it's been peer reviewed, and there was a tremendous amount of data that I looked at to see that where this program is implemented, it does work, and we see truancy rates declining within a period of months when this program is implemented. And so that's one of the big reasons that I wanted to bring it back to Mobile County. It's because our truancy rates have exploded over the last several years.
Now, one of the points that you made to the parents who were a part of the 15,000 that received letters was what happened, I guess you could say, due to COVID, the pandemic, and then some things changed over those 2 or 3 years. And so that was one of the things that you wanted the community to know about.
Right, and we did send out 15,000 letters. I think we ended up having around 10,000 come through the early warning truancy program. The threshold for that was 5 unexcused absences. We get that data from the schools. I know that a lot of parents were understandably frustrated that they had to come downtown and sit through a program like that. You can always check with your schools to make sure that your child's information has been entered properly. But we thought it was important to do that for our entire community to bring a focus back to school attendance because during the pandemic and what happened in the months after, I believe that not just here but in many places around the country, there's a certain complacency that kind of developed and festered, and truancy it's in the Alabama Code, the Mandatory School Attendance Act.
That's one of your responsibilities as a DA.
Absolutely, and the law says clearly that the district attorney is responsible for vigorously enforcing the truancy law. And there's a reason for that. Most of the prosecution that we do is reactive. It happens after a crime occurs, and we seek to hold offenders accountable. We at the DA's office have a great team that are doing that every day, and we will continue for that to be our primary focus in prosecuting crime. However, this program and what we're trying to do with truancy is more preventive, and it's something that over the long term, over a number of years, if this is implemented properly, and it will be because we're building the best team for this, we're going to see crime go down, especially violent crime go down. And so, that's why I think it's so important for the district attorney's office to be involved in school attendance. The law says that I'm supposed to be, but this is the best method to really address the problem.
And you need more than one option to change the culture, so to speak, in the community where you're just prosecuting and dealing with them after the fact. But
right.
As you mentioned, this is one of those things that can be a forerunner of preventing the violent crimes from happening. And I just think about a couple of the rest that we've had this week where both offenders were 19 years old.
Yeah.
So that's that age. Either they have graduated or they were supposed to graduate,
right.
or they could still be, I guess, in their senior year in some form or fashion at that age.
Right, and we see so many young people come through the criminal justice system. One thing that we notice about most all criminal defendants we see, the vast majority of them did not finish their high school education. That is a common denominator that we see all the time. And so, by addressing that, it allows us to, not only help the victims as we're prosecuting cases, this allows us to help the entire community directly and indirectly as, we're making the community better and safer for everyone.
And on that point, your Healthy Family Initiatives, if you can target those people on the front end, you're also helping that person who could eventually maybe go down that road.
That's right, and for early warning truancy, it's 5 unexcused absences. Helping Families Initiative will identify these at-risk children even before that point so that we can pair them up with the resources that they and their families need in order to succeed. We're using resources that already exist in the community through a multi-agency team, whereas before you have organizations that are kind of in their own silos doing great work. Our office, the district attorney's office, will act as a broker for all of those resources, bringing them all together so that all of these organizations in our community will be able to provide these resources to at-risk children and their families.
Well, in our second segment, we'll talk more about those services that are being offered, as well as how for the families to get involved who may already know that, hey, we're in a distressed situation right now. We need to be working with you at this time. Go back to the point when you talk about the truancy being an indicator of potential problems down the road. Talk a little bit more about that.
Sure. What we see when a child starts becoming truant, and then they become chronically truant, there is just a much greater chance that they are not going to graduate high school. I think it's something like 10 absences in the 9th grade. There's a 60% less likely chance that the student is going to graduate. So it's an indicator of not graduating, and then what's the child going to do after that? Many times when children are not in school, they're out in the community. They might be hanging around with the wrong people and making bad decisions, and then these people get them in trouble, and eventually they become, the kids getting other kids in trouble, and so it's kind of a vicious cycle. We want to prevent that while they're in school. We want to see them graduate because that gives them and their families the best chance for success.
And some of the information that we take a look at, I guess you could say, to give us an idea, there's something called the Heckman equation, and they talk about the increase in graduation rates also has a respective success rate in potential earnings for not just that individual, but for the state itself.
Right, and with a high school diploma, there's opportunity for good jobs. If somebody wants to go to college to get another degree, they can do that, with a high school diploma. So, better degree means better earning potential. There are great jobs in this community that you can get with a high school diploma and have a very fulfilling career. When you're holding down a good job and you're carrying on your family tradition, there is a much less likely chance that you're going to end up in a life of crime, which is absolutely what we want to see. We want people to be successful. And this program is a big part of that, in identifying at-risk kids as early as possible, to get them these resources so that they can have that life of success.
Getting on the front end of that.
Right.
We're going to take a break. When we come back, we're going to talk more about the Healthy Families Initiative and your visions for the program and the difference that you hope it will make here in the community.
Okay.
All right, our conversations this morning with District Attorney Keith Blackwood. We'll have more perspectives in just a moment. And welcome back this morning on Perspectives. We're talking to Mobile County District Attorney Keith Blackwood, and we're talking about the new Healthy Families Initiative. And some people may remember it because it hasn't been that long where their children were maybe a part of it, and now as grandparents, maybe they may want to get them involved. But one of the things I understand that when you met with the parents who responded to the letters that went out, letting them know that, we aren't pinpointing you that yes, you are and your child will be, but yet this is an opportunity to give you an understanding of what we see of how truancy has a role in predicting somebody's future.
Right, and we sent out, as I said before, 15,000 of these letters. That does not mean that we have 15,000 children that are going to become criminals in Mobile County. That is not at all.
God forbid, though, right?
I know, yeah. I know. We know that such a small number of people are going to kind of graduate to this life of crime. We know that, but what we also know is that it takes our entire community coming together and saying this is important. School attendance is important. And what we've seen with the Helping Families Initiative is that the children and their families that we directly serve benefit from this, but we've also seen from other jurisdictions the indirect benefits to every student that is in a school where Helping Families Initiative is being implemented, because once we directly serve a child and they have the resources they need to be in school and to behave while they're in school, it creates a better environment for all the other students as well, a better learning environment, and so every student in that school will indirectly benefit from this program.
And when you think about it, more knowledge and wisdom helps everybody when they're aware of what the possibility could be, as well as having, okay, well, here are some of the things that we need, and you're making sure that those things are provided. Well, let's talk about the partners. You mentioned a little earlier, we talked about former DA John Tyson Jr. and the program, and then what has happened since he retired from the office. So I'm assuming that the schools and Volunteers of America are in this with you as well.
Right. Every school system in Mobile County has agreed to partner with us in this program. Volunteers of America is a big part of it. There will be mental health components to this. There may be housing components to this. There may be food assistance components to this. And the teams and the organizations that we partner with will change over time, depending on where we see the needs are. So the Helping Families team, when they identify a child that's at risk, there will be an assessment that will be done. And through that assessment, we will identify, what issues might exist, that we can partner these other agencies with this family to serve that family and try to deal with these issues. And it can be any number of things, whether it's mental health, whether it's issues with food, whether it's transportation problems. The list can go on and on and on. But
This is where your case officers come in?
this is where the case officers come in. They'll implement the plan that is created, and they'll ensure that over time the plan is being implemented, ensuring the success of this student by getting getting the student in the seat at the school.
What should parents who are at this time concerned about both the truancy or as well as some of the things that are missing where they can be fully functioning, what are some of the warning signs they should be looking at to see, okay, well, I may need to call and find out how I can get involved with this program? Where I am now sounds like some of the things that could be potential risk issues.
Yeah, see, we know that every family situation is different. There are as many different situations as there are families. If someone knows that they're going to have a problem getting their child to school consistently, they could certainly reach out to us through the school would be the best way to do it, because we identify the at-risk children through data that we get from the school system, but we also take referrals from the schools. And so a family that believes that they may be in need of these resources, they can contact their school. The school can make a referral to us, and then our Helping Families team could do the assessment and see what kind of help that we can bring.
So we need to have communications. Parents talking to their schools, and of course the schools working both sides, keeping in touch with you, as well as making sure that they're listening to those parents.
That's right, and communication is so important, and that's what we saw with these early warning truancies letters. I mean, there were a lot of people that were referred to us by the schools that maybe didn't need to be referred because there was poor communication between the parent and the school, and the data was not entered correctly. We saw a lot of that. So going through this will indirectly benefit a lot of those processes as well, and I think it will make communication between parents, schools, and our office just that much better.
Yeah, that makes a difference, getting those things in place so that the numbers are recorded accurately. But would you say, though, you did have an opportunity to reach some parents who are in that position of needing to be concerned?
I think so, and there was a lot of talk about some parents that were frustrated by our early warning truancy session. We had just as much, if not more, positive reaction from it. We had a lot of people say that this is an issue that needs to be talked about, and they were very thankful that we were addressing it now. And this was the perfect time. School is in right now. We're starting a new school year, and so now is the perfect time to renew our focus on school attendance and making sure that we're ensuring the success of our children and our families.
You mentioned transportation being an issue, of course, for some parents. Is the school system looking at how they can better serve through their school buses to help get some of those issues resolved?
That part of it is going to be up to each individual school system. That's certainly something that we could communicate with them about, and if we're able to bring resources to the table, we certainly would. But transportation is one of the vital components of getting a child to school, and so it's certainly something that we will be addressing.
And you've got a big county, plus you've got the largest school system in the state, and then when you add the others in, you're up to about what, 70,000 students or more?
I believe it's around 60,000 students, somewhere in that area, and that number fluctuates, but it is a very large county with a very large school system, and multiple school systems, and we're partnering with all of them.
That's good. That's good. Now, you've talked about some of the ingredients. What is it you would like to see personally happen with this program being re-implemented again?
What I would like to see is that we are able to help families address these attendance issues before it gets to the point where they have to come to an early warning truancy session, before the point where we've got a parent that is in front of a judge at the Strickland Youth Center for a truancy petition. At the end of the day, truancy is a crime. And it's one that the law says that the district attorney has to prosecute. But at the end of the day, the last thing that we want to do is lock up a parent in jail for truancy that is having some kind of issue that we could have helped them with, and we could have prevented them being there. We do not want to have to ask a judge to do that. We want to help families be successful. We want to see these children be successful. It's the best thing for them, and it's the best thing for our community.
So the name Helping Families Initiative.
That's right.
Helping families. That's very important. And it's right here in writing about your responsibility in the code of Alabama that states that the attendance is a part of what the expectation is for the parent. So we've got about 30 seconds. So what can we do to encourage parents to go ahead and take steps and don't wait?
Well, I would just say encourage parents, not to let the conversation stop here about school attendance. We've got a long school year that just started, and this is a commitment that has to be made every single day to get up and help your children get ready and make sure that they get in school and that they behave when they're there. This is a perfect time to renew that commitment and keep that conversation going. We at the District Attorney's Office are here to help. We want to do the best that we can possibly do in order to make this entire community better.
And of course, we're here to help you do that, and we appreciate you coming and sharing the program today. And if you want to contact the DA's office, there's the information there. Mobile County District Attorney's Office, the website, as well as the phone number to call, and you can also reach out on Facebook and Twitter, or the new name they have. I'm not sure which one people are using now, but there we go. Remember, you can catch all of the previous episodes of Perspectives here, as well as you can see this one as well on our YouTube, as well as our web page as well. So we thank you for joining us today, our DA here, and we'll have more of this next time on Perspectives. You have a great week.